Rolling.
All right, so today I wanted to continue on a couple things. First of all, the breath. So the breath is kind of a big deal. Most people aren't breathing, so it's important you breathe. But for Taiji, the breath is very subtle. It's very fine and quiet, deep and slow. So today I'm just going to really talk about the fine and the deep part. So in general, the breath is trying to create this vessel for the jin, for the energy. Okay, so in Buddhism we have these four mindful aspects or aspects of mindfulness. The first is the body. So first you just feel how the breath moves the body. Okay, so that we did the last video was all about that. This expansion and contraction that happens in the body with the breath. So that's the first mindfulness, and you just from that you get kind of this different feeling in your body, and you meditate on that. You're just very clear about that feeling, and then that leads you to the second mindfulness, which is feeling. So the feeling for us is created from this press down and release. So your inhale follows the press down. So as you press into one foot, you breathe down into that. So that's your breath going to the navel or into your foot, however you want to think of it. And then your release is the exhale, which when you release that foot, you exhale. So technically you can do either. You can exhale as you press down, or you can inhale, but I was taught to inhale. Okay, so I already talked about that. So then you get the feeling that happens from that pressing down with the breath. They conjoin. That feeling, those two things conjoin is one feeling. And that starts to set up the jin. This feeling of pressing down and the breath going together, creating an energetic response. So your mind has to be part of that as well. So that leads us to the third aspect of mindfulness, which is the mind. So then you notice the mind. So is the mind following the pressing down? Is it following the inhale? Is it staying with that object? Right? And if it's not, you try to bring it back. Right? So the mind can either follow the pressing down or the release. You get to choose. Eventually the press down and release will be unified as one. That's what we call unifying yin and yang. Right? Once you separate them, you have to unify them. And once they're unified, then and the pressing down and release become almost same. Then you have Pungjin, first jin. So that's the feeling and the mind and the body all coming together with three mindfulnesses. The fourth mindfulness is phenomena. That is, you start to feel Pungjin in your body everywhere. And then that Pungjin of your body translates to everything else around you, like the plants and the earth itself, and then the heavens. On and on it goes, depending on how strong your awareness is. So again, the breath is just a tool to get the jin to go with the pressing down or the release. Whether you exhale or inhale isn't a big deal, but more of a big deal is these four mindfulnesses with the breath. And once you get those in place, then the jin will go through the body naturally. So that's the fine aspect of the breath. That is, you're taking away the gross elements of breath so you can replace it with the jin, with the energy. And then your mind mixes with the jin, and then the breath and the jin become one. Not two, but one thing. And then that creates Pungjin all of the time.